All right, everyone, today we're diving into a really critical topic for your GS Paper 2 preparation. We're talking about the deep-rooted institutional sluggishness of our legal system. And look, this isn't just about memorizing the judiciary structure, it's about truly understanding its huge impact on governance and, well, the daily lives of citizens. And this quote right here, it just hits you, doesn't it? The process is the punishment. This isn't just some fancy phrase. For millions in India, this is their reality. It's where justice delayed really does become justice denied. For you, as an aspirant, getting a feel for this human cost, that's absolutely crucial for writing an answer that really connects. And if you want a number to really understand the scale of this crisis, get this, over 5 crore. That is the unbelievable number of pending cases just clogging up our courts right now. The source article actually calls it a suffocating weight, and that's exactly what it is, turning the entire legal process into this black hole that just swallows up people's time, their money, and their lives. Okay, let's get into it. To give you a solid structure, and you know how important structure is for the mains exam, we're breaking this down into 4 parts. First, we're going to unpack this 4-fold challenge of the crisis. Then, we'll look at a blueprint for reform. After that, we'll get into the very soul of this reform. And finally, and this is the most important part for you, we'll connect it all directly back to your syllabus. Exactly. So let's kick things off by really understanding the crisis. You see, to tackle any problem effectively, especially as a future civil servant, you have to deconstruct it first. So we're going to analyze this whole issue through 4 key dimensions that the source material points out. Okay, so these 4 points you see on the screen, these are your golden keywords. Make a note of them, because they are your key headings for the body of your answer. First up, the crushing pendency of cases. Second, the insular nature of the judiciary, often called an old boys club. Third, the idea of justice as a luxury good. And fourth, the geographical centralization of our higher courts. Now, let's unpack that first point on pendency. What's so insightful here is how the source frames it. It's not just the sheer number of cases. It's what they call the gravitational pull of frequent adjournments that literally traps cases in limbo, sometimes for decades. This is especially brutal for under trials, particularly those under tough laws like the UAPA, who might spend years in prison only to be found innocent later. The process itself, it really does become the punishment. Now moving on to the second dimension, insularity. The judiciary is often seen as an old boys club, where women and people from marginalized communities hit a very real glass ceiling. And let's be really clear on this. This isn't about identity politics. It's about the quality of justice. A representative bench is able to deliver more nuanced and empathetic justice because it actually understands the diverse realities of our nation. And, this problem connects directly to the next one, affordability. When hiring a good lawyer costs a fortune, what happens? Justice becomes a luxury good. It's that simple. This system basically prices out a huge number of Indians. So what happens to that constitutional promise of equality before the law? It's a serious question. Okay, so we've spent some time understanding the problem, right? Now let's switch gears and talk about the solutions. This is where you, as a future administrator, need to shift your thinking from being a critic to being a problem solver. It's time we think about moving from a system built in the colonial era to one that's actually fit for the 21st century. Just look at this comparison. It really shows you the massive jump we need to make. We're talking about going from mountains and mountains of physical files to AI-driven case management, from slow manual work to AI-assisted legal research. The source is very clear on this. Technology like AI isn't a luxury anymore. It's an absolutely essential tool to clear the backlog and change the court's entire culture, from one of endless battles to one of quick resolution. So beyond the tech side, what else is on the table? Well, to fix the other challenges, 3 key steps are proposed. First, ensuring inclusivity. We need a bench that truly reflects the diverse tapestry of India. Second, completely overhauling legal aid to make it a high-caliber institution for the poor. And third, improving accessibility, maybe by finally setting up those regional benches of the Supreme Court. That's a long-debated but really crucial idea. But you see, all these logistical changes, they're just the mechanics. They're only half the battle. This brings us to what the source calls the soul of the reform. And this is about something much deeper than just efficiency. It's about rebuilding public trust and protecting the core values of our judiciary. Now, here's a term you absolutely should use in your answers, the social contract. It's basically this unspoken agreement where we, the citizens, give the judiciary huge power. And in return, we expect fair, independent, and accountable justice. Every single delayed case, every person who's denied timely justice weakens this fundamental contract. And of course, that contract only works if independence is balanced with accountability. You can't have one without the other. The article suggests some pretty concrete steps to make this happen, like live streaming important cases to create more transparency and setting up clearer, more objective criteria for appointing judges. You see, opening up the process is how you start to rebuild that public trust. All right, we've covered the problem, the solutions, the philosophy. Now for the part you've been waiting for. Let's tie all of this directly to your exam preparation for both the mains and, of course, the interview. So here's the crucial takeaway. This entire discussion fits perfectly under the Judiciary section of your GS Paper 2 syllabus. You can use all these points, the 4 challenges, the blueprint for reform, and that concept of the social contract to build a really comprehensive, high-scoring answer. And hey, this is also fantastic material for an essay on democracy or governance. And if you're looking for a really powerful way to conclude your answer, use this quote. It's brilliant. It connects judicial reform to the bigger national vision of Viksit Bharat. The message couldn't be clearer. The true measure of a developed nation isn't just its economy, it's the quality of its justice system.
And finally, we'll leave you with a question to really think about, especially for your interview prep. Ponder this. Beyond logistical reforms, how can the Indian judiciary ensure the law acts as a shield for the weak rather than a tool of the powerful? You need to form your own opinion on this. This is the kind of question that tests not just your knowledge, but your analytical ability and your core values. All the best.